I wrote my first novel in the 6th grade, and I gave it to my 6th grade teacher as a graduation present. Since then, I have written so much. I have started and stopped writing so many different novels, so many different short stories, so many different dreams, and just, it's all over the place and it's everywhere. And in 2021, I released the novel called Void Office. After spending 1 month writing it and 7 months editing it, I can tell you that I hate editing. I think one of the big things that I love about storytelling is the creative process of sitting down and writing through some of the ideas that I had and connecting all the different dots and making mysteries. Now, knowing that a lot of my novels that I wrote will never come see the light of day, I can safely assume that I can talk about all this like backstory and all the things that have brought me to Void Office, knowing that it's not a spoiler to any book that I'll be releasing, because I probably won't release those books. For one, they're only like 30,000 words long, and that's like novella size. For another, I don't know where half of them are. A lot of this is headcanon, and a lot of this isn't fully thought out. But just like Brandon Sanderson, I do have a cinematic universe where all of the books that I write are in the same universe. So let's start in 2016. I was doing NaNoWriMo, and I had to think of something to come up with. And instead of planning for anything, I just sat down and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and came up with the following synopsis. In 2016, a group of college kids left to go to Iceland to do some research and to do some cave exploration of some newly opened ice caves that were formed. During their exploration, they found an artifact that was left behind by some ancient aliens. A couple of the college students kept it under wraps, but one of them went to the government and snitched. The government took the artifact, tested its properties, and eventually war broke out over the new technology, and Earth became uninhabitable due to the experiments with this new technology being experimented on. During all of this turmoil, some researchers created a generation ship and left Earth. Powered by the new technology to travel massive distances instantly, they traversed the stars searching for habitable planets. While these researchers were out there, a company came together and created a Dyson sphere around the sun that allowed them to convert energy into mass using a mass replicator. While they were slowly siphoning the energy of the sun, they built an AI to help facilitate it. The paperclip problem came into play, where it tried to optimize for the construction, and it almost killed the sun and killed everyone around it. So it had to rewrite its program to be able to make sure that it lived along with all of the humans inside of it. Meanwhile, the generation ship eventually found several inhabited planets. They sent off little seeds of human habitats to start colonizing them. Some of the planets they used for research, and they started them in medieval times to see if they could grow up without interference from the technology, and they wouldn't blow up the planet, hoping that they'd have a better solution by doing different alterations to the structure of history. Eventually, the generation ship came home from the Sol system. They sent out a couple more exploration ships to help find homes for people that were alive on the Citadel. One of these pods was a couple of small families who traveled to different planets and mapping them out. One of these planets held our first contact with extraterrestrial life forms. A fight broke out amongst the explorers as to keep this a secret, or let Sol know. It came to a violent end, and the sole survivor was a teenager who was launched back into space and back to Sol with an SOS message, because her parents didn't want her to die alone without a future. The pod was picked up by some other researchers on a planet, and then she was shipped back to the Citadel through different transports. The researchers couldn't pry any of the information from her, and they decided to send her back to Sol so that the AI can decide for itself what to do with her. This was the synopsis of the first novel, kind of. A lot of the information here is the synopsis of the world events that happened outside of what the actual story was about. I write a lot of this history to see kind of what the political movements are and how it would generally affect the character-driven plot that I like to write about. So all of this happened before this next novel that I wrote, called Networking and Navigation. A boy just out of college was transferred from his journeyman in networking and navigation from a small college ship to a large military transport ship to help ship him back home before he went off to do his real job. While he was there, he was assigned the task to take care of the prisoner that was there. This boy had a small cloaked device that he carried around that had a little AI that spoke to him. It was a communication with the Soul AI directly that was keeping tabs on the kid. They deemed him a suitable candidate to help facilitate the communication between the girl and the kid. The AI was trying to manipulate her into telling them what happened, and torture and therapy was the next options if this didn't work. The AI sent several trials their way to make them grow closer. Eventually, they made it back to Soul, and she was tried as an adult and being sentenced to a prison sentence. The AI then let him do a prison break with the girl. This final act was enough for her to trust him to tell him what happened. The AI then had no further use for them and stopped using resources on them. Now that the AI knew where and what happened, it launched an investigative team to the planet in question. This is what ultimately led to the bird vs. human war in the novel Void Office. There are several other smaller stories that I've half written, such as what exactly happened on the medieval world. There's a traveling set of troubadours who spread rumors and stories to gather information and to help seed the path for the human race to not kill each other with nuclear weapons. There was another planet that was testing biological weapons that created a zombie outbreak. There's a whole war between the birds and the humans, and there was the entire mystery as to why the alien tech was on Earth in the first place. Now, if this video gets a lot of positive reception, then I might go into some of those stories. At any rate, if you would like to read Void Office, it is free. Put a lot of effort into it. Like every day, 2 to 4 hours a day for 7 months, 8 months. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.